this video kind of scheduled, but not so much because I just announced it about 10 minutes ago. But I had this question, right? What if, right? And it kind of, I'm looking at my charts, I'm looking at my numbers, and I had this question in my head. I was like, what if we had more time? And what would happen to this cycle? Basically, where could we reach? And these are many questions that, one question led to many more, and I kept on asking this, and I thought, you know what, I'd rather talk about it with you guys, hence why I'm here. So if you are here for the first time, my name is Sham again, and this is Your Expires, and the truth is always out there. I would appreciate if you do hit that like button, subscribe, share with one another if you can. Let's grow this community. Right, so let's get into this. Right, I was looking at the chart and I'm looking at the RSI. As you guys know, I am a big fan of the RSI. So I've been looking at the RSI on a higher time frame, like 2 months, 1 month, and etc. Right? And what I noticed, right, on the monthly is that we've flipped bullish, right? So since last month, we've finally seen how we flip bullish. I see KR here, also my brother, nice to see you. So we see how we flip bullish, right? Which is brilliant. But then I'm trying to calculate the time, and I'm like, okay, how much longer do we have, right? Can we have another 3 months, 4 months? And if we did have another 3-4 months, what will happen? So what if we had another 4 months, right? KR says he likes this topic. Of course you do. But you know what? I'm being honest, right? I'm literally watching the charts, and I started asking myself questions about 10 minutes ago. When I announced it, I was like, what if, right? So what if we can actually last another 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, for example? What if we continue with this momentum, right? So for me, the question I asked was, okay, how long do we really have? Now, depending on what time frame you're looking at, you can have a rough estimate, and everybody can give you that. But remember one thing, guys, doesn't matter who says what. If someone says it's going to be a year, it's going to be 6 months, it's going to be 10 months, none of those matter, because the fact is we don't know. Right, we don't have a crystal ball, right? None of us have managed to time travel and go to the future and see what's going on, and we don't have a chronovisor, so we can't really, or we don't have access to a chronovisor, we can't actually go in and look at it, right? So there is no way of us knowing the future, but we can make some base assumptions and say, right, based on this technical pattern, this is a highly likelihood of something happening, right? It's a probability. So I've announced my probability, I think about a month ago. I said, guys, I think we have like 2 to 4 months. And I made sure it was a wide range. So I said, look, we got about 2 to 4 months. But as we go closer, it will be a little bit more accurate, right? So I'm just being transparent and being honest with everybody. So for me, when I'm looking at this, and especially when I'm looking at this on a monthly chart, right, things start to freak me out because I see a little bit of a bigger data, right? Of course, only time it can change is if we do get a parabola. But if we don't get a parabola, it looks like we might actually have 3 to 4 months from now, right? Which is kind of freaky, right? Because that means we might actually end up in March, right? Which is not a bad deal. Now, historically, there's been a few times where we have gone to March, which is not a bad deal. But if we go to March, then we're getting to other historical levels where we've actually gone into May, June, right, before we've crashed. So what if, right? The questions, that's what I'm saying. So it keeps on, I'm keep on asking this question, what if, right? And then I'm looking at the market, and I'm like, okay, currently today we're sitting at 91,000. We've tested 92 earlier on, and I don't think, we're going to go down. We're only going to go up, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we hit the 97 by the end of this week, because that is a number that I have seen. So I think 97 may be coming very soon. Now, regardless whether the 97 comes or not, right? If we last another 2-3 months from where we are right now, we have the potential to probably push the market 2x from here, if not 3x from here. Now you're going to say, what the hell is this guy talking about? 3x from here? Well, yeah, 3x from here. That's literally $270,000, right? We can do that because remember, guys, one of the things a lot of people kind of overlook, right? They're like, oh, but that means so many people have to invest so much money, hundreds of billions of dollars have to come in, maybe another $1 trillion has to come in, because if we are 3x from here, that means you're saying we need to have at least another what was it, 1.5, say about another $4 trillion to come into the market. Well, it's not a problem. $4 trillion can actually come to the market, and I'll explain how, right? So you have to understand this. People who have already bought BTC don't have to buy another single BTC, right? So if they're just holding, that's fine. people who are coming in now to buy more BTC, whether it be $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, it doesn't matter. Whatever your capacity is, you're coming to buy. You're buying at today's rate. That's what you have to understand. You're buying at today's rate, but you're buying from the available supply, right? And every time you buy from the available supply, the supply is shrinking, which means it's kind of impacting the price. So the more the supply shrinks, the more the price can increase. Now, we don't really need any new buyers to come in, right? Because if everybody decides over the next 2 months, 3 months to buy, say 10% of what's available, that could easily boost us by 100%. I'm not even joking. It could actually boost the price by 100%, right? So this could happen, right? So it's all about basically, like people keep on buying. Obviously, we need like people to buy, but no dumping, right? Because if people come in and you kind of pump, and then someone comes and dump, well, you kind of invalidate each other. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a trend, is not really that solid. But if people didn't sell for the next 3 months, people just held for the next 3 months, right? This could easily push towards our $10 trillion target of a market cap, because not only would BTC be worth 3 times more, right, 4.5 trillion, because currently it's worth about 1.5 trillion, it would be worth 3 times more, so 4.5 trillion, but the entire market will be carried with it, which obviously will add more valuation to the total market cap, right? So for example, ethereum sitting at 3,100 and something today, right, or close to 3,200, that could easily push towards the 6,000, maybe even if it can be carried on enough, and if the momentum kicks in, and again, people don't dump, right, people don't sell, it could easily push towards 9k. If that happens, think about how much that adds to it. So the $10 trillion mark we're talking about, which we did talk about last season as well, is absolutely possible. So I'm thinking, what if, right? I keep on coming back to this. What if we had another 3 months? What if nobody sold? What if everybody's just buying? What if the whales that have held for God knows how long, right? Some of these have bought it for pennies. What if they don't dump? What if nobody takes profit? What would happen to the market, right? $10 trillion, here we come. Because we've reached all the milestones that we needed to, apart from Ethereum, which hasn't done it, right? And I've been talking about it quite a bit. But we've come to the point where we could actually push towards the $10 trillion level. Because when you look at the bigger picture, we don't actually need that many sales, right? On-chain sales, I'm talking about, not the OTC. If we can do on-chain sales through exchanges, various exchanges, and this and that, and shrimps buying, we can actually push this towards a far greater number, because we still have a chance. This market still has enough space, right? So when I'm looking at the thing, as long as we don't have a black swan event, which means some idiot comes along and creates some sort of a nonsense or bad news or whatever, and creates panic and fear in the market, we can actually still continue for maybe another 2-3 months, as long as we don't go parabola, that is, right? But of course, parabola is when we need to start panicking. So if we do get a parabola, for me, that would be the end. I wouldn't really be focusing too much on how many more months we could last, even at this level. As soon as I see a parabola, I would be thinking about exiting, right? Because there's no point anymore, right? It's just, now it's a signal that, okay, guys, time to go, because we've just entered the parabola. So that's all I wanted to talk about, but obviously I didn't want to just record a video. If there is any questions, guys, please do let me know. I will definitely talk about it. But I'm just asking myself these questions, like, what if, BTC can last another 3 months? Because remember, BTC is my main indicator, right? What if BTC can last another 3 months? Then what does it give to the market? And of course, if it lasts another 3 months, it is actually giving a fair chance to all the altcoins that haven't performed or haven't even gone to their previous all-time high to actually now come and catch up, right? So catch up as in, I'm not saying create brand new all-time highs like BTC did or a few other coins have done. I'm saying catch up to its previous all-time high. If it can do that, right, it will be awesome, because as soon as we hit the previous all-time high, right, things will change. And also for my XRP family, especially one of our brothers, he's a massive XRP holder, for him as well, we did mention how XRP could, like, it was sitting at, I don't know, about 50 something cents or whatever. I can't even remember what the number was, and I did say we're looking at 125. We did hit the $1.26 level. So we actually hit the $1.26, then got rejected, which is absolutely fine, because now our new target is the previous all-time high. So the previous immediate all-time high, not the high, right? Because the high is a complete different place, right? So as soon as we go to that, it's about 190 something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's the new target now. So that's where we will be looking at. So what did you say? Are we in the same place cycle as November 2020? I wouldn't even follow those. That doesn't matter. These are just connecting dots, right? There's no point. You know what I mean? There's no point. We could have said the same thing in 2021, right? It doesn't matter. So when we're looking at these particular things, a lot of people like to connect dots. For me, I'm like, you know what, filter it out. It doesn't matter. You live now. You're not in the past, right? Yes, we can relate to certain scenarios and say, well, this was similar to what happened. So it's a similarity, but it's not exactly the same because we're not in the past. 2020 is gone for us, right? November 2020 is gone for us. It doesn't matter, right? We're here right now, and what we see, the data we have in front of us, right, that's what matters, nothing else. We can't always look to the past and say, well, that's what it is. Of course, when we're doing analysis, we can use some of that data to make the calculations, right, and look for similarities and patterns, but that is not an absolute. So whatever's happened is happened. Okay, does that make sense? Because you know, there's a few things happened in 2020. If you think about it, like March 2020, we had the Black Swan event, right? You know, so is that going to be something that's going to happen this year? No. So when we look at something, we can't just look at one thing. We have to look at the entire year and say, well, this is how many things happen. Are we repeating that? Well, we're not. Just so we can't just pick on one, because randomization is absolute chaotic, right? And people normally, like the way our minds work, we like to find some sort of a solution in the chaos, right? So our brains are programmed in such a way that we actually enjoy chaos. We actually get excited from chaos because chaos gives us something to solve, right? And we always come up with some sort of a solution. And unfortunately, the easiest option to that is connecting dots, right? So we don't want to connect dots. That's why I say keep your minds clear. Forget about what happened in 2020. Forget about what happened in 2021. Forget about what happened in 2022. None of that matters, right? No 2 months have been the same. You can go and check this, like the Bitcoin percentage per month or whatever. You want to go and see that, how much money you've made per month, how much returns came in. No 2 months have ever been in history. No 2 months have ever been exactly the same. So we've never had the same percentage or the same type of games or the same type of volume, right? You know, if we look at 2020, we had like 4,000 coins. We have 4 million coins now, probably even more. So think about that. There are plenty of things that are not the same, so we can't use that data to say that is it like this or connect that dot. Does that make sense? Right? I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm not offending anybody, just being completely transparent with you, that as an analyst, somebody who likes to work on charts, yes, I also use that. I put my hands up, I 100% use that data. But when I'm making that call, when I'm telling you what's about to happen today, or when I'm telling you what's about to happen in a month or 2 months from now, or maybe a week from now, whatever it is, right? Because I do that quite often. I'm not using that data, and I'm not going to connect that dot. I'm not going to say, guys, here we are. This is exactly like that November in 2020. I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Because that's gone. It's gone. That's not relevant right now. What are we doing right now? And what are we going to do right now? That's more relevant. So based on the current structure that we have, after all the mathematics, it is highly likely that we could easily last, as I said, for another 2-3 months. However, with one exception, that is a parabola. If we do get a parabola, this could end in the next 2 weeks, right? I'm not saying it's going to end immediate next 2 weeks, but just giving a hypothetical reason here that if we end up getting a parabola, it could end in 2 weeks, right? So if we say like, oh, 3 months from now, and then everybody's now changed their calendars and like, right, this is my exit plan, 3 months time, I'm exit. It's wrong. Don't do that. Live now, right? We don't know the future. We don't know, the past is already gone. So we cannot relate to those things, right? So all the decisions that we make, we have to make it today. I hope that makes sense to you. Again, guys, my name is Sham. This is your X-File. The truth is always out there. You can always come back to these videos and refer back to me and listen to what I've said, right? If I have said something wrong, please correct me. You know, let me know in the comments if I have said anything wrong. But I'm just trying to be realistic here. And I'm like, okay, look, we all want to be hyped up, we all want hopium, right? And we want to all go to the moon, right? You know, depending, right? We all want to go to the moon, but we have to be really realistic, and we cannot connect dots, because a lot of people make this massive mistake of connecting the dots. You know, oh, Fed's gonna do whatever, the interest rate thing announcement, oh, that's, we're gonna connect the dot. No. Oh, there's this news, that's what's happened. No, don't connect the dots. I don't look at news. I do not see any. Believe me, I do not know what's happening around the globe, right? Unless someone tells me. Believe me, I do not have a clue. I don't even know what the weather's going to be tomorrow. Why? Because tomorrow isn't here. I'm only worried about today. So when I wake up tomorrow, I'll check what the weather is and I'll dress accordingly to that weather. I don't need to know what it is tomorrow. For what? So similar way, or I don't need to know what was it yesterday. Obviously, it doesn't make a difference. But what I'm saying is we should not be connecting dots. Just look at the asset for what it is at that time, right now, and then move forward with that, right? Because if you're going to start connecting dots, you're going to start creating confusion in your own self, and you do not want those confusion, because they will either keep you highly excited and, you know, emotionally kind of mess you up where you're not in control anymore, or what's going to happen is the opposite, right? They're going to mess with you, and then you might make a wrong decision and exit early, or maybe exit too late. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. You want to make sure you don't fall into that trap, because it is a trap. Connecting dots is a trap. You know, we can talk about it. It's fine, right? So I don't blame you for asking me that, but I wouldn't connect that dot. I wouldn't say anything like that. I would like to be a little bit more conservative and just talk about today, right? So I know I went on a long wind, but I hope you didn't mind. But it's just, I wanted to make it clear for everybody. You know, it's the easiest thing we do. We always like to go to what's relevant, right? Like what seems to be relevant. Let's just say what seems to be relevant, because it seems to be the most obvious thing. And yeah, that's what it was. It's not. It's not. What if we go to zero today? Can we then compare it? We can't. What if we shoot over to, I don't know, we do a nice little 1000% pulp? Well, then what is it similar to? Maybe it's similar to 2012, right? So you see what I mean? So it's a hard one, you know. That's why I live now. I don't know about the past. Past is gone. I can't change it. The future I haven't seen yet, but I am here right now, and what I see now is what I'm going to talk about. Hope that makes sense. So if you have any other questions, guys, please do let me know. Definitely love to answer some questions while I'm here. I'm not going to be here for long. I don't want to drag this out. This is not one of those ones. It's just I had this urge. It's like I'm asking myself these questions, like why, or what if, right? What if? And you know, all of my favorite coins, and I have a whole bunch of favorite coins. All of these coins, it seems they have a better chance if we last another 2 months, 3 months. You know what I mean? So what if we last another 3 months? What if we last another 6 months, right? I kept on asking these questions, and then I kind of applied some maths, and I said, well, where we are right now with some of these coins, you know, doesn't matter where it is, if it's a 50-cent coin, if it's a $50 coin, if it's a $100 coin, I'm not picking on anyone, but what if we last another 6 months in this same trend? What's the potential? And it was just mind-blowing. I was like, wow. So some of these coins can actually do a 10x, some of these coins maybe 5x, but it all depends on how large the coin is. And as I said, like if BTC, I'm thinking 3x, you know, possibility, why not, right? So I'm just being hyper optimistic. Of course, none of this is financial advice, so please do take this with a pinch of salt. I'm not giving any advice to anybody. I'm just being highly excited and highly hypothetical, right? Because I see that there's a massive potential if we can actually continue with this market. Whether we're going to do or not, that's a whole different story. I don't know, right? But I would love to see that happen, and that would really, really excite me a lot more as well. And I believe that the potential for that is massive. Some of these coins, even from today's price right now where we are, we can actually push 10x, if not even more. And then for me, like BTC, 2x, 3x, that's a freaking brilliant number, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to see a 270 grand BTC this cycle? Because that would be insane. But as I said, all of that could go to waste, because if we get a parabola, it might not happen. So what we want, right now, I'm going to come to the whole main point of this, right? What we don't want, right, is for the market to go hyper parabolic, for the market to go crazy, insane, and on a buy frenzy or something like this. We don't want that. We want a perfect balance. If we can have a perfect balance, say for example, BTC per week give us a grand more, that's good. And believe me, a grand more is a very small number, very small percentage, right? A grand, 1,000 is nothing. So we're only asking like 1%, 1.5% a week. If we can do that, we can grow. Because that will give the other coins a chance to catch up, 10%, 20%, whatever. Because remember, when BTC bleeds 1 or 2%, everything else bleeds 10%, right? So similar way, when BTC grows by 1%, other coins will pump 10%, 20%. And believe it or not, right, if you compound 10% per day, that's a lot of money, right? So that's what I'm excited about, because I think that could possibly happen. I did see a message come up. I saw a message from CMAX44. Thanks for going live. I appreciate it. Now, of course, listen, if I feel, as I said, like last few days, I've definitely been, my morale has been really uplifted through certain ventures and whatnot. A lot of fun. We've been having a lot of fun on Discord and whatnot, right? And I said to everyone, I said, guys, if you're going to be active, I'm going to be active, right? I mean, there was a time, I used to do a live stream or something every single day. I used to take out time every single day, but I stopped doing that for various reasons, and I've explained it before. I'm not going to explain it again, but for various reasons, right? So if I have something to talk about, or if I have a gut feeling, or I think there's something out there that I just need to talk, right, to everybody, then that's what I'm doing. This is therapy for me. This is therapy. I'm coming and I'm talking to you guys. This is therapy, right? So, definitely my morale has been boosted, and I feel that I can share a lot more information. And, whether it helps or not, whether it's informative or not, it's not relevant. Right, treat this like a vlog, right, or vlog, or whatever they call it, right? Okay. Of course it's a vlog, a video log, but treat it like that, because this whole channel was actually, the foundation of this channel was built on this, because I never ever done a video where I have sometimes gone back to reply on videos, but most of the time my videos are continuations. Every video continues from where we kind of left off, and everything is anew, and it's about today. It's never about yesterday. It's never about tomorrow, or sometimes about tomorrow when it comes to making calls about what BTC might do, what the market might do. That's a different story. But other than that, it's always been about today. Right, so it's kind of relevant to today. So it's always been like this. I know a lot of people who come and visit my videos later on, they're like, well, what's this guy talking about? 50k BTC. And I've had this, right? So someone's come like, you're talking about 50k BTC? Oh, yeah. Haven't you seen the price, dude? I'm like, yeah, I've seen the price. Well, why are you talking about 50k BTC for? Hold on. So where are you coming from? He's like, I saw your video. Like, you saw my video. Which video did you see? If you're talking about 50k when it was 50k, bro, that's an old video. Wake up, go and see the latest one. Maybe subscribe, notify, right? So here's a good little plug, right? At least subscribe, put some notifications on, right? Hit that bell button, whatever, right? So at least when I do the latest video, you will know. So you won't come back to me and say, oh, you're talking about 50k coin when the coin's sitting at 90k. You won't say that to me, right? Because you have actually found the original, the video that's relevant to that day, because my videos are not relevant afterwards. It's for that day. Do you know what I mean? So, and there are plenty of videos where I've done pre-recorded videos, but I have put the date and the time so people can go back and check those date and time, right? And there's a reason behind that as a reference point, because if I'm giving you the date and the time of the day, and I'm talking about a specific candle or something, some different price, you can go onto your trading view or whatever chart, right, you use, you can go and plot that time on that day and see what number I gave, was it true or not, because the truth is always out there. So, so that's what it is. But yeah, definitely, if there's any other questions, please do let me know. If there's any questions, let me know. But look, market's looking fantastic. When I'm looking at it, I see the what if, right? And I'm constantly asking myself that question. Yes, there is one thing I am kind of concerned about, and I did kind of mention this, I think on the last one or the one before that, the stream before that, where somebody asked me a question, is there a potential of the market doing a pullback? Because there was a bunch of questions and I answered those questions. And I did say there is a likelihood that we could potentially see a pullback. I think I said like this week, or like, I think it was last week. I meant last week or something like this. I said, or something, I can't remember what it was. That's still kind of valid. But what's happened is, instead of it happening more sooner, it seems it's going to be happening a little bit later. And the good news is, the reason why this has happened, right? BTC jumped a couple of steps, right? Went from 78k all the way to 93,400, and then basically came back down again to about 95,500 or 96,000, and it held support, right? And then it didn't hold support for too long. It just boom, shot back up to around the $89,000 level, and that changed the whole dynamic of that chart, right? So the chart was pointing, yes, you're gonna probably see a week of a downside. No, we didn't, because it went so high, and when it came down again, it didn't go down as much, right? Which was brilliant, because it then settled and it stabilized the price. And then it kind of how would I say this, invalidated that chart, right? Because that pattern doesn't exist anymore. And then when you look at the chart, the pattern completely changed, right? So that pattern changed for me, and now the pattern is showing some signs. So for example, it's not showing this week, it's funnily it's showing more like possibly next week. Do you know what I mean? So it gets kind of weird, right? But that's what happens when the data changes. you have to change your analysis, right? You have to change your analysis. So are we going to see an immediate pullback right now? I don't see any signs of it. I don't see anything, right? So far, I can only make a probabilistic prediction, right? Because I have to call it a prediction, even though I don't have a crystal ball. That something could happen possibly end of this week, maybe next week, right? But that could easily change. Tomorrow, if we shoot up to 100K, that data will change because everything will become positive all of a sudden again. Do you see what I mean? So things that look a bit negative based on the amount of buys and sells can immediately change if the price structure changed completely. Do you know what I mean? If the valuation, if the whole thing changes, it will all of a sudden be a whole different data for us, right? So that's something that you have to obviously take and understand, like with a big fistful of salt, right? You know, not a pinch of salt, because the data could change just like that. And of course, when the data does change, I will update people, whether I do a live stream. If I have time, I'll do a live stream. If not, then I usually just post it on Discord. I'm not plugging Discord today. No, I'm not doing that. It's up to you if you guys want to. In fact, I don't even think I've got a link. I think I do. Yeah, I think I've got all my links in the description. So yeah, if you tap that, that will bring out all my links. I don't even know how many links are there, but the right. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But that should bring out Discord as well if you are interested. If you're not, listen, doesn't matter, right? Because I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. This is really, really fun, and don't take this as an offense, right? I'm being completely transparent with you, right? I'm being There's your tracks here. He's saying you sell a kidney. Why you want to sell a kidney? Don't sell kidneys, bro. You don't sell kidneys. Don't sell any body parts, right? Just whatever you've got, hodl, right? Hodl strong and watch what happens. So what was I saying? So the reason I don't usually plug the Discord and this and that is quite funny. So I have a very small group on Discord, and even then I have even smaller number of people who are very highly active and who are very close to me. I would assume so, right? I would like to think so. Whether I'm not, that's a whole different story. Whether they are close to me or not is a different story, but I like to say that, right? And I'm saying this on a live stream. So it's easier for us to have a conversation and share knowledge and share stuff amongst this very small group, right? In this, so we have a small group of Discord, so we don't have thousands and thousands of members on Discord. We have a small number of people on Discord, and even smaller number that actually share information between ourselves, and we have some good fun. Imagine if that was 100,000 people, it would be freaking difficult to even read a message. Right, so I'm actually glad that our community is very small. When it comes to YouTube, if I did a live stream and I had 100,000 people here, I wouldn't be able to reply or even say hi to most of you guys when you jump on, right? Because whenever I see the message, I can easily reply and say, hi bro, how you doing, whatever. I couldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? So in a sense, to be honest, I am glad that the past 4 years now, we've been on it like 4 years, I think. Yeah, this channel has been around for 4 years. I see RA, awesome, my brother, nice to see you. See what I mean? So I see you, boom, I can easily greet you. So what I'm saying is, like, we've been around for 4 years and we've had this steady growth, right? Steady growth, like every month 10, 15 people, 20 people. Even though I haven't been really making videos. Of course, when I've made videos in the past, boom, we used to get like 100 people a week or something, like coming and signing up or subscribing, right? And then we kind of slowed down because I wasn't making as many content and whatnot. And then now I see, like, even though I'm not around, I still see like 10, 15, 20 people per month. And I'm like, that's quite cool, because I don't really want a flood of people, like, you know, like people flooding the whole thing. Because if it does happen, it's good for the channel. By the way, don't get me wrong. If that happens, if this channel ends up getting 100,000 people, I'll quit my day job. I'll do this full time, because then technically I earn from YouTube. I would be earning from YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So there's no point in me doing something else. So that's what I'm being transparent with you. I would be actually earning from YouTube. So if that happens, great. But then one thing that happens when that happens as well is you get a lot of diversified people come to you. And there's going to be so many diversified questions and expectations. Now that's one thing that I cannot commit to. Expectations are very hard, right? If somebody expects me to be, so this is quite funny, and I'll tell you this, right? Because I just looked at the camera and I saw my cap, and I'll tell you this. So a very close friend of mine, he saw a few videos of mine without the cap. He had a go at me. He said, I expect you to wear a cap. I'm like, dude, it's hot, it's summer, you know, I just come out of the shower, my hair's wet, I don't want to put a cap on my head when it's wet. It's like, bro, I don't care. this is what he said to me. He said, I don't care. I expect to see you wearing a cap, because you always wear a cap. You've never missed wearing. I'm like, yeah, I know I always wear a cap. Doesn't matter, rain, shine, whatever. I always wear a cap, right? But sometimes when my hair's wet, I don't want to put a cap on. I might have it on the side, but I just don't want to put it on. He's like, I don't care, bro. I expect you to put a cap on. Can you believe that? Here's another one, right? Another friend saw me doing videos from home, right? So he's like, you're doing videos from your bedroom, your home, your office, whatever. I don't like that. I said, what do you mean, right? And you know, newly acquainted friend, right? He said, no, I don't like that. So why? I said, I've always watched you doing videos in the car, especially the ones that when you do driving. So you're driving on a freaking motorway, driving 70 miles an hour, and you're literally talking and offloading your mind. That, for him, that was apparently the best thing ever. He goes, I've never seen a YouTuber who's literally concentrating, driving for 30 minutes on the road, driving on a motorway from London to a whole different town, right? And talking and offloading his knowledge, right? That's unique. No one can do that. I respect that. I want you to do more of that. See what I mean? So, and I'm like, bro, I can't do it all the time. So expectations are one of the hardest things to maintain, because I can't maintain that. If someone says to me, you have to always wear well, I can't. You know, what if I wear contact lens? Oh, you have to wear glasses. I can't wear glasses if I'm wearing contact lens, right? So those kind of things, and these are just basic, obviously, these are just fun stuff I'm talking about. But of course, there are serious expectations that a lot of people have, which I might not be able to deliver. Hence why, you know, I worry about it. I'm being completely transparent about it, because this channel wasn't based on the foundation of, oh, we're going to create a whole bunch of scripts and every day I'm going to come and just pick a topic and talk about it. Or I'm going to go to YouTube and look at the algorithm and see what kind of topics will sell today. It wasn't about that. It was just me uploading whatever I've got, whatever's in my heart, whatever the communities are. So if you guys ask me a question on any of the platforms, and I'm not going to say anything about Discord or whatever, WhatsApp, some people have messaged me on WhatsApp, whatever you talk about, I've come back and I've given some sort of an answer, because I thought, you know what, if I'm going to give you an answer as a normal person, as a friend, why can't I give it to everybody else? Because they might find some benefit. If they don't, by all means, it's okay. I'm just another random guy on YouTube just talking away. If people like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. No one's forcing them to stick around. You know what I mean? RA says, do you think Elon... RA says, okay, so I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what happened. Don't ask me. I pressed the message button and it literally took me out of the stream for a second. I don't know what happened. Don't ask me, right? Do you think Elon being in the US office will affect the price of Doge? Elon has the power to affect price of Doge to a certain extent, right? But ultimately, let me tell you this, right? Unless Elon declares that he's bought Doge, right? It's not going to shoot off like a rocket. But him just kind of hinting here and there, maybe he owns it, by the way, but him just hinting here and there, he's having fun. He's got millions and millions of followers on Twitter. He's just having fun. The people who will affect it are the largest holders who have Doge in their wallets, because there are whales out there. There are absolute billionaires with Doge, only Doge. I'm not even joking. All right, by the way, guys, please let me know while this stream was interrupted, are we still on the stream? Because I wouldn't have a clue, right? So please send me a message right now and let me know if we're still on the stream. If we're not on the stream, then I might have to just quit the stream and then carry on again. So I'm waiting for your message to let me know. So Elon basically, would he affect it? Now, I think basically the people who hold it, the large wallets, so there are people out there who have billions of dollars, if millions of dollars, still on. Awesome, thank you. So people have millions and millions of dollars worth of Doge in their wallet. So these are large wallets that hold it, whales basically, right? So these whales will impact the price, right? Because again, if they're holding, it's fine, as long as there's not enough supply, then everything's good. But if they decide to take profit, then that's going to create a significant dump and the market will bleed out. That's the only thing. So when the market bleeds out, remember, it's got nothing to do with the structure or anything. It's just basically someone's taking profit, right? But if they take profit together, it's screwed, you know? So if someone really hates Elon, and but just hypothetically, right? Someone hates Elon and buys a whole bunch of Doge, and Doge is pumping, and they own like 25% of Doge or 10% of Doge or whatever, right? Amount of Doge in existence. And they really hate Elon. They had a fallout with Elon for whatever reason, or maybe they didn't like one of the tweets or the X. I don't even know how to call it an X anymore, right? But anyway, one of the posts that he does. And just out of spite, right, they said, you know what, I'm going to dump the crap out of it, right? and Elon's out there pumping his Doge and memes or whatever he's doing, he's having fun. This could actually affect Elon, because if this guy decides to hate on him and dump and crash the entire price, everyone's gonna hate Elon. So you see, Elon can affect it, but Elon can also be affected. Depends on the scenario or the situation, but ultimately, listen, Doge is already kind of proven itself. Also, another thing, I've said it to you guys before as well. So the active founder, I just say active because there are plenty of founders or original founders of Ethereum. So the active founder of Ethereum is Vitalik Buterin, right? Buterin, whatever you want to call him. So he has been working with the Doge developers or whatnot, right? In order to basically make Doge better. So he has been putting some input in there. So Ethereum's kind of supporting Doge. So whether Elon's there or not, it doesn't matter. I don't think Elon had anything to do with the current price pump, right? Maybe he's just, again, connected the dot and just posted something and people connecting the dot. The market moved, everything moved, right? We talked about it. Buy anything, it doesn't matter, it's going to move, right? When the market moves, everything's going to move. So similar way it moved, if Doge does a 10x today, Elon done a tweet, and just after Elon done a tweet or X or whatever you want to call it, right, he posted and we did a 10x or maybe a 20x, yeah, I'll give that credit to Elon. But until then, no, Elon hasn't affected the market or anything. But he could be affected, and people could end up hating him. A lot of Doge holders could end up hating him. So market's doing exactly what it needs to do, to be honest. And as I said, Doge is already getting a lot of good help from the community, like the crypto sphere, like other project leaders are supporting Doge. So Doge is definitely established as one of the number one. It's the grandfather of all meme coins, technically, right? There could be others, but technically it's the grandfather. So it's established itself. So if we give it the there's a similarity to like Ethereum is the first ever supercomputer, right? A supercomputer, by that I mean like smart contracts. So you can build smart contracts on top of it, and this and that. It's the first one, so it's the grandfather of smart contracts, right? BTC has always had the ability of actually programming smart contracts in there, but it's not so easy. It's not as easy as Ethereum. So there's a lot more technicality. If you know how, yes, you can, right? And that's exactly what they've done, like with the Lightning Network, with other stuff that doing BRC and whatever they're doing. Yes, that's there, and that's happening because the community's come together to do it. So, but BTC is still BTC. It is the grandfather of P2P on crypto, right? Person to person, peer to peer money. That's what BTC is. So it's the grandfather of cryptocurrency. You've got Ethereum as the grandfather of smart contracts. Doge is the grandfather of meme coins. We have to give it, right? And I'm giving it, that's what it is. And hence why I own a little bag. I don't own too much, but I own some because I like Doge. I think it's proven itself, right? And it's got nothing to do with Elon. I don't give a damn what Elon says. It's got nothing to do with the market's doing its thing. Of course, when the market ends, am I going to hold on to it? No, I'm going to dump it because I want to buy it cheaper. Do you know what I mean, right? So that's a whole different story. I'm not going to go down that route. I've mentioned this particular season, coming back to XRP, this particular season I said I'm not going to buy any Ripple, and I didn't buy any, so I don't own any Ripple. However, recently I've been gifted some, right? I'm transparent about it. I've been gifting some, so now I have some Ripple, right? XRP. So I have some XRP in my actual wallet as of yesterday, right? So I have some XRP. So of course, great. But again, for me, my strategy has always been, I want to see how high Ripple goes, XRP goes this particular season. And because I've never bought it when it was at pennies, right? When it was at 10 cents, 20 cents, 16 cents, or whatever it was, right? When we talked about it, around that time we talked about it, I never bought it. I said, it's fine, right? However, next season, I'm going in heavy. So you see what I mean? So I've strategized. So next season, I'm going heavy. This season, I think it's already done what it needs to do. And I think there's a probability of where it's going to go. So there's a hypothetical number that I have, of course, but when I look at the charts, it's a whole different number. So for me, looking at the chart, I said 125, we hit 126. Currently, the recent all-time high was a 190 or 198 or something. I think we're going to go there because now that we're at the, let me just see, hold on, where are we right now? So if XRP is at 111 right now, it's only 80 cents away, 80 something cents away. I think we're going to hit that. To be honest, I think we're going to hit that, right? So we're going to hit that. When we hit that, then the next target is the previous all-time high, the highest high that we've had, which is about $3 and something. So again, I'll have a look at it just to let you guys know, because what I don't want you guys to turn around and say, oh, this guy's chatting out of his ass. No, I'm not. I'm telling you what the real number is. So it was 196 was the recent all-time high that we've had, and prior to that, right, around the, I think it was the, yeah, it was 330. So prior to that, it was around $3.31, so 330 cents basically. That, however, this is my hypothetical number. If we can get to the 330, then I think we might even be able, as long as the market, so what if comes in, right? If the market continues, I think there's a potential we could even test the $10. Now that would change a lot of people's life, because I know a lot of people who are holding XRP for many, many years now. In fact, a close friend of mine, right? So he's on Discord, he's kind of a mentor as well. His friend, so he's not directly my friend, so a close friend of mine, his friend has around, has invested in the last 4 or 5 years, around 400 grand into XRP. 400,000 pounds, that's like what, equivalent to 550, $500,000 plus in US, right? That's a lot of money he's invested in XRP. He has faith. He's got Ethereum, he's got BTC, but he's gone heavy into XRP because he believes in it, right? So, and funny, I asked him, I said, where do you think it's going to go? It's like $1, right? So he's bought this from when it was pennies, and he's only targeted $1. I haven't asked him yet, has he cashed out? And if he hasn't, I'm going to tell him not to. I'm going to tell him, not wait until it goes to $2, right? Wait until it goes to like $1.90, whatever it is. Wait until, even if we can test towards the $3, right? And if we do get to the $3.30, or if we got to $3, we're going to go to the $3.30, then just wait. As long as I just wait, bro, just wait. But if you see a parabola, of course, hit that button or use a trailing stop or a stop loss, right? But if you got a chance to go to $10, right? Why not, bro? Why not? Because your $500,000, mathematically, to me, the way I look at it, should be worth close to at least 800-900 million, 100 million. Does that make sense? So why wouldn't you, bro? Because you bought it at such a, you had the belief, you DCA'd in, you bought it, and this is what I'm going to say to you, as far as I know. So as far as I know, he bought it below 30 cents, right? So he's been buying non-stop, right? He's bought it below 30 cents. So all the way to the, whatever it goes, right? Bought it below 30 cents. So none of his buys has ever been above 30 cents. But if you just factor that in, right? 30 cents now, he's already 3x. He's already 1.5 million profit, right? Or 1 million profit from his $500,000. Think about that. Think about that, right? If we hit that $3, what it's going to, or the $2, what it's going to be if we hit the $10, what it's going to be. It's going to be worth a lot of money, right? So good luck to him, and I do respect him, and I think he's done fantastic, right? And a lot of the guys, I always said this to guys, if you believe in it, believe in it, but remember, there is a time when you need to let go, right? So that's what I'm going to say. I know a lot of people hate on me for saying that, you know, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So yeah, I know I went on a long wind. Guys, please let me know if there is anything else, and also listen, guys, if you are here for the first time, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, share with one another. We're trying to grow the community. I've never ever intended to, again, I'm going to go back to this as well, I've never ever intended to grow the community, but right now I do want to, I do plan to grow the community. So if we can grow into a larger community, I'll be here more often. We'll talk about it a little bit more, and all you're going to get is unfiltered real information here. There's not going to be some sort of a script or some sort of a paper. It's like, oh, this guy's sitting here with some sort of a paper and he's making a list. The only papers I got is I'll show you, penalty charges, right? Parking tickets, right? That's the only piece of paper I got, because I get a lot of parking charges. So, but other than that, listen, you're just going to get the real information here, nothing more, right? And of course, a lot of my opinion, and I'm going to try and keep my opinion unbiased, because that way, you know, I'm not saying anything that you should favor me or it's going to favor somebody else, just as it is. I'm just going to tell you as it is, right? And then you take that. That's what I want you to do. You take that and you do that job. Another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed this, I talk about charts a lot, right? Every one of you know this. I talk about charts a lot. In fact, in my earlier videos, I used to show my charts a lot. So I used to always have my laptop and I used to always show everybody the charts. Recently, I don't show charts. Do you know why? There's been a few occasions where I've actually told people why. I want you, right, rather than looking at my chart, right, because that's what a lot of people do. They look at my chart and then go away, You know, the dopamine's gone. All of that information they watch for the last 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever, they forget it. You know why? Because you're going to switch off this YouTube channel, find another YouTube channel, talk about something else. You're not going to go and research what I was talking about. You're not going to go open that chart yourself. So remember, learning, if you do it yourself, if you say recite something, then you memorize it. If you write something, you memorize it, right? If you hear it yourself, kind of, but hearing and seeing is not the same, right? Most, unless you have photographic memory, that's a different story. But normally, if you do it yourself, your brain works a lot better and you actually remember and you actually learn from that. So when I turn around and say stochastic RSI, I want you to go and open your chart and look at that stochastic RSI and RSI, and then come back and say, that makes sense. Because then what's happening is you're programming yourself to learn how these things work. You're identifying the patterns yourself. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to add anything on. You don't have to analyze anything. Just by looking at those particular indicator or the chart or the candles, you're programming yourself to see the chart in a complete different way. You know, not my way, but any other way. But point is you're programming yourself to see that, and then it helps you in the longer run. So that's what it is. That's one of the reasons why I don't show you the chart, right? I will tell you what the numbers are so you can come back, refer to the numbers, and then connect the dots yourself and say, right, this is what it was talking about, right? But doing it yourself, you're going to learn a lot more, and you're going to be a lot more experienced from that as well. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else, right? And so yeah, I hope that, you know, that kind of explains why not. I mean, I can, if you want, guys, listen, if you want me to show you a chart, I could show you a chart, right? Let's get a chart, right? Let's see what we've got right now. Let's get BTC, for example. Open up BTC, right? So let me open up BTC. Sorry, I'm way back where I want to get BTC to current levels. So let me get it to current levels and put it there, right? And I'll flip the camera over so you guys could see. There you go. Look, my chart's right here, all right? So it's right there. We got the numbers. Of course, you might not be able to see it, but the point is that the chart's there. Hence why I can give you these data. I can, when I'm talking about the numbers or chart, whatever, I'm actually looking at my chart. It's not like I'm not looking at my chart. So I'm not just throwing numbers off the top of my head. I'm giving you the numbers, and I'm hoping that you can then go and start. Now, of course, if you want the chart, by all means, I will share the link to my chart. I will share the link to my chart, not a problem. A lot of people have come back to, like, some people are not on the premium trading view, and I've proven to people before as well, you don't need a premium trading view, believe me, right? Even me, I've got like an essential pack because I'm only using 2 indicators, right? Believe it or not, I only use 2 indicators. Yes, I have a few more for some other bits and bobs I do, some of the stocks and bonds and shares and whatnot. That's a whole different thing I use those indicators for. Believe me, on my chart, there's only 2 indicators that I use. Guess what it is? And technically I use them all in one as well. Stochastic RSI and RSI. I don't use any other indicators. I don't need them, right? So you can actually use a complete free version of the trading view to do your crypto stuff, right? Because the lines and all the drawings that you're going to do, they don't cost anything. The only thing that costs you is if you do more than 3 indicators, then it costs you a little bit of money, right? But if I'm only using 2, why would I recommend anybody? That's why I don't share links that, oh, sign up below me, sign up to my link, I might get a little bit of a kickback. No, why? Because end of the day, there's nothing there. You just use a free version and that's it, right? You just need a stochastic RSI and RSI and Bob's your uncle. Happy days. You already know what the market's going to do, right? Of course, what matters is what timeline you're looking at. So I'm going to tell you this, right? This is my secret. I do not observe the chart. So just to show you, now I haven't touched anything. So at least you guys know. Look, that's my default. My default is 1 week. Right, I haven't touched anything. My default is 1 week. So that's my secret. I do not look at the charts on a daily. Of course, I'll zoom in if I have to say something or do something, but I do not look at the charts on a daily. I do not look at any other time frame, actually. My default is 1 week, right? 1 week is my default. So that's what I always look at, and that's what I would use my stochastic RSI and my RSI to give me the indications of what's about to happen, right? Because what happens, this is a very good number, right? On a stochastic RSI and RSI, especially stochastic RSI, it will tell you what's about to happen, right? Because the RSI only tells you what's already happened. So the RSI, if you understand RSI, relative strength index, right? RSI. The RSI tells you what's already happened. That means whatever data we're seeing right now, it's already happened last week. That's all it is. So we can now base probabilities off that. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But stochastic RSI is telling you what's about to happen, because based on what's happened, it's already seen a particular trend and it's now displaying that trend to you. So I'm trying to make it simple, right? It's displaying that trend to you and telling you what's the probability. So now all of a sudden we've got the RSI confirmed. Stochastic RSI said, based on that, we can actually do this. So that's how we're kind of moving with the timeline and how everything works. So hope that kind of helps. But remember, the larger the time frame is better. I recommend, if you're trying to predict what's going to happen next week or a couple of weeks from now, use the weekly one. So that's my secret. To be honest, it's not a secret, but that's my secret. That's how I do it. And as I said, you don't need a premium trading view, please, guys. A lot of you guys, I know you go crazy. I know there's one brother here on the live. He goes nuts. You don't need it. You don't need more than 3 indicators. I mean, if you're not using the indicator for anything, because like for me, I use a few indicators, but as I said, I don't use them for crypto. So if I'm not using it for crypto, why would I? In fact, it's there, but they're not active. Why? I don't use them for crypto. If I'm not using it for crypto, why would I pay for it? You know what I mean? And what would I tell you guys to go get a premium one? I'll get a kickback. No, get a free trading view and you trade like a boss. Right, it's been a nice long one, unintentional. I'm not going to drag this any longer. Yeah, it's been almost an hour. Not intentional at all. I'm going to call this quits. Let me catch you guys on another one very soon. BTC, and I'll give you a little bit of a market anyway. So currently, total market cap sitting at 2.98 trillion. Am I concerned? No, as I mentioned yesterday's live stream as well. Even if we go down to 2.7, it's still not a bad thing, as long as we're higher than where we were last week. And so far, as I said, we are absolutely higher than where we were last week. Anything that's happened within the next 48 hours, it's not that relevant, but it does give us a rough idea of where we want to move. Now, ultimately, we want to give it up to Wednesday for it to give us the direction where it wants to go. Between that time, if it decides to move up, by all means, and if it doesn't and it wants to go and test out the support, it's a good thing, right? So testing the support, bouncing back off the support, great thing. Breaking or creating a new all-time high, okay, of course, that's an even greater thing, right? So nothing to be concerned about too much. So far, everything looks green. All the indicators look green. Ethereum at 3,161, BTC at 90,300 right now as I'm speaking, right? Say at 51 cents. Solana at 237. I know earlier on it went to about 240 something. 260 is round the corner. It's going to happen. Right, it's going to happen, so I don't see much of an issue down there. And then all the other bits and bobs, again, same thing. Everything will move, right? What you'll notice is BTC, if it drops by 1%, 2%, everything else will shift like 5-6%, at least, if not 10-15%, right? If BTC goes up 1 or 2%, everything else should start pumping 5-10%, if not even more, right? So just keep an eye out for that, because when the parabola happens, things are going to just shoot, right? It's going to just shoot. So that's what we don't want. We want it to move up nice and steady, baby steps, right? Baby steps gives us prolonged time and much more bigger profits. So other than that, guys, it's been a great stream. Thank you very much to everyone for coming to the show. Thank you for the guys hitting that like button. The guys who are new, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, I want to thank you in advance if you have subscribed, and leave something in the comment if you're watching it later. So if you're not on the live stream, if you come back later, leave something in the comment. Let me know if I've said anything wrong, if I've offended anybody, tell me off, right? And if you see any scammers down there sharing their seed phrases, please do not tap those seed phrases or copy those seed phrases. They are not seed phrases. They're just going to hijack your wallet. So I do my best to remove these people off the comments, but if you do see one, report the shit out of them, okay? Because believe me, they are scammers. That's how they're going to hijack your wallet. So do not copy any of those things. So other than that, guys, my name is Sham. This is Heroes for Hides. I hope this was a pleasant stream for everybody, and I hope it was informative. The truth is always out there, as I would say. Other than that, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.